If you're researching Medicare and you want to know about Medicare supplement plans and their role in your healthcare, this video is for you. Even if you've already looked at different Medicare supplement plan videos, this video will have new information that will help you make an informed decision and avoid taking on a hidden risk. So I'm going to help you understand your Medicare supplement plans and their role in your healthcare. I'm going to reveal to you how to determine what a Medicare supplement plan will or will not cover. And then we're going to take a look at the new Medicare supplement benefit table for 2020 that includes a new Medicare supplement plan. Lastly, if you stay until the end of the video, the last item I'm going to discuss is a very important hidden risk in choosing a Medicare supplement insurance company that most consumers are not even aware of. So stay tuned. Hi, I'm Matthew Clausen with MedigapSeminars.org. Now, my company is an independent insurance brokerage specializing in Medicare and retirement needs. We help people with their Medicare decisions in virtually every state of the country, and our services are free to the consumer. This video and the information in it will be different than any of the other Medicare supplement videos. It's designed to help you understand Medicare supplement plans and their role in your health care, as well as select the right plan and the right insurance company for your situation. So let's get started. My philosophy when helping people with their Medicare choices is to first review and understand Medicare supplement plans. So you should first shop the Medicare supplement plans that are available to you to see if there is one that fits both your needs and your budget. And only if there's not one that fits both your needs and your budget should you explore Medicare Advantage plans. Why? Well, that is in part what this video will cover. The first thing to understand about Medicare supplement plans is this. If you've chosen a Medicare supplement plan or chosen to get a Medicare supplement plan, it means you've also chosen to keep original Medicare as your primary insurance. That red, white, and blue Medicare card, that is your primary coverage. Now, because original Medicare is your primary coverage, it pays first, and the benefits of that coverage pass on to your Medicare supplement, which is your secondary insurer. Now, this is true no matter which Medicare supplement you have or which insurance company that you choose. This is very important, and it's often misunderstood. So what are those benefits of original Medicare that pass on to your Medicare supplement plan? Well, first, with original Medicare, you can see any doctor, go to any hospital in the United States or its territories as long as they accept Medicare. Because this is a feature of original Medicare, it's a feature of any Medicare supplement plan you have from any insurance company. So second is that Medicare's intent is to cover everything that's medically necessary. So let's stop at that point for a second, because I mentioned at the start of this video that I would tell you how to determine what your Medicare supplement plan will cover and what it won't. Well, this is where I'm going to answer that question. Your Medicare supplement will cover the co-pays and the deductibles of all of your health care approved by Medicare. And Medicare will cover what is medically necessary. I'm often asked, what does Medicare cover? Does Medicare cover this procedure or that procedure? The answer to that question depends on why. Why is the procedure being done? For example, if you have a mole on your face, will Medicare cover its removal? Well, it depends on why it's to be removed. If you want it removed because you don't like the way it looks, I doubt Medicare will cover it. It's not medically necessary to remove it. On the other hand, if it's cancerous, then it's certainly medically necessary to be removed, and Medicare will cover it. So instead of thinking about your Medicare coverage in terms of what is to be covered, look at the why. Why is the procedure being done? What condition makes this procedure medically necessary? To build on this subject so that you better understand, there are certain steps that doctors may have to take in order to make something medically necessary. So here's a couple examples. In the comment sections of one of my videos, a person who identified themselves as a chiropractor of 30 years was noting his frustration that Medicare wouldn't cover his x-rays. Now, Medicare has very limited chiropractor coverage. About the only thing that it covers is the correction of something referred to as a spinal subluxation. Now, in order to diagnose a spinal subluxation, it does not require an X-ray. It's actually to be diagnosed by hand or by feel. So an X-ray is not medically necessary for the diagnosis. It may be convenient. It may be that many doctors would prefer to have it, but it's not medically necessary, and therefore for the diagnosis of the spinal subluxation, an X-ray is not covered. So here's another example. I had a new client who was brand new to Medicare. They put a lot of things off, as many people do. They put it off until they start Medicare. She asked if she could go in, and she was worried that there was a problem and wanted an MRI. And I explained to her, well, let's give you an example of, let's say that you feel you need a knee replacement. Well, the first thing a doctor has to do is physically examine the knee. If the doctor can't diagnose what's wrong with the knee just by that physical examination, then an X-ray becomes medically necessary. And when they X-ray the knee, if they still can't diagnose what the problem is, then an MRI becomes medically necessary. So you can't go from walking into a doctor's office and saying you want a brain scan or an MRI. There are steps that doctors have to take to create the medical necessity for that particular procedure or that particular test. Now, as an aside, if you do have comments or questions, please feel free to leave them, either on this video or any of the other videos I have. I do answer the questions on the videos. Now, please don't leave anything personal. I'm not going to publish your question if you have personal information being identified there. So just any question you have, we work very hard to make sure that all of your questions are answered. So just leave a comment below if you wish. The term medically necessary is important. It's used consistently in your Medicare and You guidebook when describing Medicare services. So how does Medicare determine medical necessity? They lean on your doctor. It depends on your doctor's diagnosis and your doctor's opinion. So with Original Medicare as your primary health care, any supplement you have will follow the direction of Medicare to determine what is or is not covered. And Medicare depends on your doctor's diagnosis and opinion. The bottom line is your supplement will cover the copays and the deductibles of all of your health care approved by Medicare, and Medicare will cover what is medically necessary. Which brings me to my favorite benefit of having Original Medicare. With Original Medicare, the for-profit insurance companies are taken entirely out of the decision-making process. They have absolutely no say in what is covered, who is paid, how much is paid, anything. All they do is what Medicare tells them to do. This means that because you have Original Medicare, no matter which Medicare supplement plan or which insurance company you choose, you retain the right to see any doctor, go to any hospital that accepts Medicare. And your doctor's decisions and opinions guide your health care, and neither you nor your doctor ever have to ask an insurance company for permission to have a procedure. So before I go on, I want to make sure one thing is clear. Medicare Advantage plans are not Medicare supplement plans. Now I'll repeat, a Medicare Advantage plan is not a Medicare supplement plan and does not have these benefits. Now this is a Medicare Supplement Plans Explained video, so we're focused on Medicare supplement plans. I will explain Medicare Advantage plans in detail in a separate video. In fact, I have a new Medicare Advantage Plans Explained video produced shortly after this video will be made public. So Original Medicare by itself, your Medicare Part A and your Medicare Part B, has a lot of copays, deductibles, and it has no maximum out-of-pocket. The role of a Medicare supplement is to reduce your financial risk down to an out-of-pocket expense that's manageable. In most Medicare supplement plans, you can bring your out-of-pocket expense down to, as low as zero, or maybe just a couple $100. So yes, a Medicare supplement plan costs extra. It has a monthly premium to it. But the objective is to reduce your costs when you're sick down to a very manageable amount of money. So this brings me to an important piece of advice that I would like to share. In this business, I've seen a lot of people make decisions about their health care, their Medicare, and then live with the consequences of those decisions. The number one most common mistake I see is when a person looks at their current health situation and chooses a plan based on their current health. I can't count how many times I've heard, I'm healthy, I never see a doctor, so I'm just going to go with the cheapest plan that there's available. And in all but a few states, you can't change your Medicare supplement plan once you've become critically or chronically ill. So my advice is that you should get the insurance that you will want to have when you're seriously ill, and not whatever's cheap today because you're healthy. So when can you get a Medicare supplement plan? Well, in most states, you can get a Medicare supplement plan up to 6 months before you turn 65 or before you start Medicare, even before you've got a Medicare number or have applied for Medicare itself. And depending on where you are or how close you are to getting Medicare when you watch this video, if you are within 6 months, you may have noticed a lot of cold calls and mailers. Well, they usually start 6 or 7 months before you turn 65 because they want to try to get in and get you to make up your mind as quickly as possible. Some states restrict the consumer to only 2 months before the month you turn 65. But keep in mind the Medicare supplement benefits, they can't start until your Medicare starts, until you have both A and B active. So applying for the Medicare supplement early simply gets the process out of the way. It gets the monkey off your back, so to speak. So you can go on with your life and you can tell the pesky cold callers you've already made your decision. All right, if this portion of the video sounds a little different, that's because we had to change mics at this point. We had a little mic issue. So again, if this sounds a little bit different, that's what's going on. So where were we? All right, this is also important. The federal Medicare rules are such that your Medicare supplement initial enrollment period is the first 6 months that you have Medicare Part B. Now, understand your Medicare supplement initial enrollment period is linked to the start date of your Medicare Part B. Now, once your Medicare Part B coverage starts, the clock starts ticking. You have 6 months, it's a 6-month window, where you can get any Medicare supplement plan that's available to you, and no one can say no, no one can rate you, no one can charge you more. All they can do is say yes and give it to you. And you can change your mind and switch from one Medicare supplement plan or one Medicare insurance company to another. After that 6-month period, you can still change your Medicare supplement plans any day of the year. However, the insurance company has the right to look at your medical history and your prescriptions and reject your application. When an insurance company reviews your medical history, we refer to it as medical underwriting. Now, medical underwriting does not involve a physical. It's not like life insurance where somebody comes to your home or office and takes your blood. All that happens is the insurance company reviews your medical history and your prescription history. Now, keep in mind that many states have special rules that override Medicare for the benefit of the consumer. Some states have rules that provide annual special enrollment periods for a Medicare supplement plan. I'm going to go over how to find out if your state has special rules in actually just a moment. And this is going to save you hours of research. Right, but first, understand that the federal Medicare rules do not allow for an annual open enrollment period or annual election period for a Medicare supplement plan. That annual election period, that October 15th through December 7th, that is for Medicare Advantage plans and prescription drug plans only. So federal rules are such that you can change your Medicare supplement at any time, any day of the year. But after your first 6 months on Medicare, the insurance company has the right to decline your application due to your health history. So which Medicare supplement plan is the right plan? Once you decide that you want to keep your original Medicare and add a Medicare supplement, the next question is which supplement? Now, I know there are videos out there that suggest that one plan or another is the best plan. I don't subscribe to that theory. All of the Medicare supplement plans are good plans. All will do exactly as they're supposed to do, and all the Medicare supplement plans pay what they're supposed to pay and follow Medicare's instructions. So the right plan for you is just determined by your budget, your needs. It's really not all that complicated, and I'm going to show you how to approach this question and come to a good conclusion in just a minute. But first, as I noted just a moment ago, before you dive into the different Medicare supplement plans, you need to know if your state has any state-specific rules that override Medicare in the consumer's favor and that can impact your decision. So now this is also important. Some states dictate how a Medicare supplement plan can be priced. Some restrict or outlaw excess charges, which completely favor one Medicare supplement plan over the other. Some states have rules that provide each person an annual special enrollment period so that you can never get stuck in a plan due to your health. You also don't have to worry about a plan being discontinued in those cases. But heck, there are 3 states that don't even offer the standardized Medicare supplement plans. They have designed their own sort of look-alike plans where in some cases the benefits are a la carte. So those states, by the way, are Wisconsin, Massachusetts, and Minnesota. I intend to do a specific videos on those states, but until then, the easiest way, if you live in those states, to discuss those plans, just to give us a call. The bottom line, there are a lot of rules, and they're very difficult to find on the internet. That's why every time someone requests a free Medicare supplement price quote from us, we include a paragraph or 2 on any special rules that your state might have. That way you're fully informed and you can use that information to help you make an informed decision. So how do you find out if your state has any special rules? Simply ask us for a price quote. We're going to give you the prices for those insurance companies that I recommend for price stability and low cost over your lifetime, and include any state-specific information that you need to know about. So this brings us to another very important point. In just the last 3 or 4 years, I've seen a flood of insurance companies move into the Medicare supplement market. Now, some are old insurance companies but new to Medicare. Others are new insurance companies or spin-offs. They each bring with them a new series of consumer risks that you need to be aware of when choosing an insurance company. And I'm going to talk about this and how you can avoid these risks in just a moment. But before you choose an insurance company, you need to choose a plan. So let's cover that first. But at first, I'd like to ask a quick favor of you. If you like this video so far, if you found this information helpful, please click the like button below and the subscribe button. I have more than 40 videos on Medicare and that you should know about both before and after you get your plans. And also, please feel free to comment. If you have a question or just a comment, let me know what state you're from. I answer and reply to every question. All I ask is that you don't leave any personal information. When it comes to choosing a Medicare supplement plan, rather than trying to figure out the best or the worst Medicare supplement, I suggest looking for value in the plans. And yes, I know value can be subjective, and in a way that's the point. Your Medicare supplement decision is a personal decision based on your situation. So let's take a close look at the Medicare supplement benefits table for 2020. Now, as of 2020, this is what the Medicare supplement benefit table will look like. Notice there are really 2 tables. The table with the 2 columns on the right-hand side show the plans only available to people who were first eligible for Medicare prior to January of 2020. These are the plans that are being phased out. The larger table on the left are the plans that are available to everyone that has Medicare, people who will be new to Medicare after December 2019, as well as people who have had Medicare for years. Now, I'm not going to go through the details of each plan. I have separate videos for each of these specific Medicare supplement plans, and if you wish, you could, of course, subscribe and you'll be able to find them very easily. So in this video, I'm going to give you a high-end view of the plans and how to go about evaluating at least which ones may be right for you. And then you can use this knowledge as you view my other videos detailing the specific benefits and characteristics of each of the plans. The first thing that you really need to consider is that none of the premiums for these plans are static. They will increase over time to one degree or another. So when you decide which plan is right for you, you need to consider the future cost and how it's going to impact your budget. So let me repeat, it's critically important. When you decide which plan is right for you, you need to consider the potential future costs over 20 years and how that's going to impact your budget. So how much a plan's price is going to increase, it really depends on three different factors. And the first is geography. There are states like California, for example, that prices tend to rise at a much higher rate than average. And this is something that we talk about in detail when helping people shop for their plans. The second factor is the plan itself. Some plans are going to increase at a higher rate than other plans, and I'll have more on this in just a minute. But last, by no means least, is the fact that some insurance companies have more persistent and higher rate increases than other insurance companies. So when people request a price quote from us, I will quote those companies whom, in my experience and knowledge, are less likely to have high or persistent price increases. Or put another way, they're more likely to have stable prices and not surprise you in your lifetime. Now, I will be producing a new video that details how to research a Medicare supplement insurance company, and when I publish it, you'll see a link above. So I'm not going to detail that here, but I want to talk about which plans are expected to have high price increases and which are more stable or expected to be more stable in the years ahead. So let's go back to the Medicare supplement table and talk about something. And you may have already noticed the difference between the benefits for the plans on the left versus the plans on the right. The difference is this: the plans that are being discontinued all pay the annual Medicare Part B deductible. The plans that are available to all do not. So this annual Medicare Part B deductible for 2019 is $185. But when Medicare decided to phase out the Medicare supplement plans that paid that Part B deductible, they did so because of the conclusions of their own research on Medicare waste. What they found is that when a person can go see the doctor without any money out of pocket, some will go to the doctor for frivolous reasons. They go because they're lonely, because they want someone to talk to, and that's a burden on Medicare, and thus it's really a burden on us. Thus, by requiring some money out of pocket, they reduce Medicare waste. Now, you can conclude from Medicare's own research then that the Medicare supplement plans F and C can have higher expenses because they may have more waste or more consumers that go to the doctor for frivolous reasons. Obviously, if a Medicare supplement plan has higher expenses, those expenses are going to be passed on to the consumer in the form of higher premiums. So the first step in your decision process may be to look at that simple factor and avoid those insurance plans, Medicare supplement plans, that could have higher waste and thus higher prices in the future. I mentioned at the very beginning of this video that I was going to talk about some hidden risks that most consumers are completely unaware of. Now, this comes in two parts, but if you get nothing else from the video, this section, these concepts, I hope that you'll take away with you when you decide to do your own research or to do your research on a Medicare supplement plan or insurance company. Higher expenses are part of what drives higher prices. If you're turning 65 to 67, you can have another 20 years of life to use. So you really have to be aware of the fact that the compounding of the increase in price can have a significant negative effect over 20 or 25 years or longer. So one of the things that you should look at then when you look for an easy way to identify if a plan is going to have higher expenses and thus potentially higher price increases is to look at the application. Look at the health questions. When you're new to Medicare, you don't have to go through underwriting, you don't have to answer any health questions. But not everybody getting a supplement plan is new to Medicare. A very large portion of the market are shopping in their 70s and such for perhaps their second plan. Maybe the prices have gotten a little out of control with the one they have and they're looking to save money. Well, at that point, they have to go through medical underwriting. And when any person has to go through medical underwriting, it's the one opportunity that an insurance company has to filter out the people whose health profile shows an expense ratio that will be a burden on their prices. In other words, they need to keep out people whose health costs are going to put pressure on the pricing. Now, all of the different underwriting questions, underwriting procedures, they're completely different from one company to another, and they're even different from one state to another. Some companies do a really good job of underwriting. Some that are extremely strict in it. They look really through your history with a fine-tooth comb. And granted, they're not looking for high cholesterol and high blood pressure and minor issues like that, but they still look very carefully at your health history. There are other companies that have just a few questions. I know of a company just a few years ago, now they have 5 questions now, they used to have 3. And it's basically, are you alive, breathing, and you're not on dialysis? And it's a company that I used to use when somebody would call me up, they don't have a supplement, they need to go through underwriting, and they have cancer. Right? Now, what happens? And with that company, it's still the most lenient company. I'm not going to mention the name. Still the most lenient in the country, and still has very high, persistent, year after year price increases. They like to start you low and increase the price on you. So one of the hidden risks that you should be looking at when you're studying the different companies is that how well do they keep out those people who are going to threaten your price stability. So part 2 of this hidden risk. There's a huge misunderstanding out there that is in part due to some of the videos that I and others have posted. People see these videos and misunderstand that the only difference between one insurance company and another offering a Medicare supplement plan is the price. And then they proceed to step in a landmine. There's no difference in benefits from one Medicare supplement plan offered by one insurance company and another. But there's a big difference in insurance companies. Let me explain. The reason we get insurance, any insurance, whether it be car or home or health, is to take the financial risk of an event and move it off of our shoulders and onto that of an insurance company. It's to transfer risk. Unfortunately, in Medicare, selecting the wrong insurance company can introduce another risk that you're not even aware of. And what I've seen in the last couple years, just since I did my last video on Medicare supplement plans, is an enormous influx of insurance companies into the Medicare market. Now, there's a lot of money being made in Medicare, and these companies want in. But they're not here for the long run. In some cases, these are new companies or a new organization, freshly capitalized. And in other cases, they're older existing insurance companies, but they're brand new to the Medicare supplement market. In either case, they bring a new risk that most consumers aren't even aware of. So let's take a look at a couple examples. Now, in order to do so, I'm going to end up naming some company names. So keep in mind that this is a combination of fact and my opinion. I'm not speaking poorly of these companies. I'm simply pointing out that their goals may not be in sync with yours. About 4 years ago, Central States Indemnity, also known as CSI, moved into the Medicare Supplement market. Now, CSI was primarily a property and casualty insurance company. That means cars and houses and boats and stuff. There was a lot of fanfare because they're new to Medicare Supplement Policies. Is because they're a Berkshire Hathaway company, A+ rated with Warren Buffett on the board. It's a good company. It's a great company. It's easy, and a lot of agents found it easy to sell because the consumers thought that they were going to have a great partner with their Medicare supplement. So fast forward a few years in the CSI business, in about half of the states that they were doing business in, they've sold the company. They've sold it to a company called CSI Life and Health, also from Omaha, Nebraska, but not a Berkshire Hathaway company. Now, I'm not saying or suggesting anything bad about either company. Berkshire Hathaway is in the business to make a profit. They're making money for their shareholders. CSI is a good company. It's a mutual company. They don't have stockholders to answer to. The CSI originally sold their Medicare business, and they got out of Medicare supplement plans completely in 2004. Now, maybe they saw that was a mistake and they want back in. I don't know, but they purchased the CSI in some states. But unlike a company that would be committed to entering the Medicare supplement market for the long run, CSI has outsourced all of their servicing for the Medicare supplement plans to a third-party non-insurance company. So I think in the poker world they would call this a tell. So where am I going with this? The companies are fine. The problem is where they leave the consumer. The consumer doesn't have a Medicare supplement transferred to the new company when it's bought out. In fact, those CSI policy holders in those states where it's now owned by CSO are in a closed pool. If they want to go to a CSO policy, they actually have to qualify medically. And if anything had happened to their health and they don't qualify, then they're stuck in a company that is not writing any more policies in their state. And they'll likely face a much higher premium increase in the years ahead because of this. It's no different than owning the Medicare Supplement Plan F before it was discontinued in 2020. They're at a higher risk of unusually high price increases. So I've no idea what's going to happen with CSI in the states where it is still writing Medicare supplement plans, but it appears to me that Berkshire Hathaway still doesn't intend to be in the Medicare supplement business over the long run. My opinion. I don't believe that they will be. And one of the tells, again, is just to look at the Berkshire Hathaway annual report. In the last annual report for Berkshire Hathaway, they indicated that the CSI had 47 employees. Now that's a far cry from Geico's 40,000 employees, and it means that they're outsourcing the servicing of the Medicare supplement plans. When an insurance company intends on being in the market in an area for a long time, they don't typically outsource the servicing of that business. Now there's one example I know of where a great company that is in for the long haul, and they outsource to another insurance company that they're partnered with. That's a different story. In these cases, they're outsourcing to a third-party non-insurance company that just does the administration and underwriting of these Medicare supplement plans. So from the business standpoint, if you were intending on selling your business at some point down the road and you just wanted to grow and grab as much market share so that you can get the most value out of it in the future, then certainly you don't want to have to be concerned about having a lot of employees, because the duplication of your employees and the people buying you out is going to be an issue. It's going to be a higher cost because you have to give the severances and stuff to all the employees. So an easy way around that is the third-party administration. It's simply a tell that says that there may not be a long-term commitment to the Medicare supplement market for these companies. In my opinion, companies that want to be in the Medicare supplement market for the long haul will build their company, they build their employees, and build the control over the value of the underwriting and the administration, so that everything, there's a control on the quality of service, etc. That's what you do when you want to build and be in a market for a long period of time. when you're outsourcing all of that business, it puts a big question mark over your intent. Now let's look at another example. So there are a number of cases where it's a small organization that's entered the Medicare supplement market with the best of intentions, but for whatever reason they don't last. The case in point is Loyal Christian Benefit Association. They started offering Medicare supplement plans about 4 years ago, the same time as the CSI. And if you'd purchased a Loyal Christian Benefit Medicare supplement policy, you get an annual $200 that you can give to your church or the charity of your choice. But insurance requires a law of large numbers, and not every company that enters the Medicare supplement market can get those large enough numbers to make it a profitable business. So it appears Loyal Christian Benefit had that problem because their policyholders started to experience double-digit price increases. In April of 2019, the Loyal Christian Benefit Association announced that they would stop selling any more Medicare supplement plans. They're going to still service their existing plans, the ones they already have on the books. They'll still service them, but they're not selling any new plans. And if you kind of get a theme here from the other example, or from when we talk about Medicare supplements, Plan Fs and C, the theme is this: when that happens, they stop selling new plans, the people that have those plans are stuck in a closed pool. It's really a worst case scenario for the policyholder. You see, if an insurance company goes out of business and just stops servicing the Medicare supplement policies, Medicare gives the consumer, the policyholder, the right to get another plan. That's called the guarantee issue. But if the company just stops selling new supplements but doesn't go belly up and they service existing policies, then the policyholder is stuck in a plan and can likely experience higher price increases. So to pull all of this together into something that's actionable for you, as you're listening and watching this video right now, there are at least a dozen companies out there that are a mixture of the two examples that I just noted. There's a company I know that's a subsidiary of a large Swiss insurer. They started offering Medicare supplement plans in 2017, and their business is small. In fact, without naming names or blowing horns, I know of individual insurance agencies that do more business than this insurance company. But you, the consumer, wouldn't know that by their beautiful and professional website. So in one example, the consumers were just pawns for a corporation whose real intent was to service their stockholders. In the other example, the consumers were unaware that they were the guinea pig in an organization that was new at all of this, and they wanted to do well, but they didn't have the management or the expertise to pull it off. So how do you avoid these risks? Well, I have a rule in my company. It's a very simple rule. I don't go anywhere near these companies. So how do we filter them out? That's simple. If an insurance company has not been in the Medicare business for at least 5 years and does not have an A or better rating, then we're not even going to show them. We won't even consider them. We're going to completely take them off our radar. It's simple. If an insurance company has not been in business for at least 5 years, then they haven't proven that they're going to be in this business for the long run. If they don't have an A rating, well, that doesn't mean they're a bad company, but those are actually the companies that are more likely to have those hidden risks, these and actually other hidden risks that are possible in the marketplace. So it's really easy to avoid the hidden risks I've talked about. First, you have to be aware of them. You have to know why you want to avoid them. And then second, just do not consider insurance companies that have not been in Medicare for at least 5 years, preferably in a Medicare supplement for at least 5 years, and don't have at least an A rating. None of us have a crystal ball, but we can reduce the unnecessary risk by the actions and the decisions that we make. And if you want to go with the cheapest plan today, but understand that you may be introducing a risk that you're completely unaware of. Now, I prefer to go with the companies that have a solid foundation in Medicare and a history of price stability. And that's reflected in our price quotes when people ask us for quotes. We intentionally avoid all those companies that are lowballing their prices to build market share. So now it's your turn. I make these videos for you. Please leave me a comment below. Let me know what part of this video that you found the most informative or what you didn't like at all. Let me know how you feel about these videos so that I can respond and, of course, adjust my videos to your needs. If you have a question, please leave it below. If I can, I'll respond to every question. Just please don't leave anything personal. And sometimes I've seen questions that it would take half of a book to answer. So the other thing that we do is obviously we offer a free consultation. Our services are free to the consumer, and our objective is to help you make an informed decision so that whatever your decision, it's your health care. We want you to make an informed decision so that you're satisfied with what you have. And none of us have a crystal ball. We can't tell what the future is, but we are here for you if things don't work out. One last point to make, something that we've not talked about much in the past, but I do have on staff people who are experts in Medicare billing, medical billing, Medicare appeals. Any person that has a policy with our firm has a lifetime Medicare advocate they can call at any time with any problems that you have, whether it be with your doctor's billing or Medicare itself. Doesn't matter. They have the expertise to handle your situation and help you resolve it. So I hope you've enjoyed our Medicare Supplement Plans Explained video. Please like, share, subscribe. I'm Matthew Clausen with MedigapSeminars.org. Thank you for watching.